being spent to a jail cell just to entertain other people. Today, thousands of people are visiting SeaWorld. According to SeaWorld Entertainment website, they state that for the year 2014, they had 4.4 million visitors. Because some of you might have visited, are going to visit it, or do not know much about what happens at SeaWorld, it is important to know what happens in what seems to be a very happy place. Through the research that I have done, and because of the passion that I have towards this issue, I will be able to provide you with some of the information. The whales, more specifically the orcas, are living in a poor environment and are living under stress due to the fact that they are being held captive and not able to swim in a natural environment, which are thousands and thousands of miles every day. Today, I would like to share with you this problem, and by the end of my speech, I hope that you all do not buy a ticket from SeaWorld or even think about going to SeaWorld. The problem is that some of these whales are being held in captivity and are putting the lives in danger of animal trainers and are even killing them. In Blackfish, directed by Gabriela Copperwaite, we see whales attacking the animal trainers and even lunging aggressively and even falling on top of the animal trainers. Many accidents have occurred that have involved the loved ones of other individuals and whales. For example, Elizabeth McDonald reminds us in SeaWorld of problems of the death of 40-year-old Brian Shaw, as well as the death of Daniel Dukes. So Brian Shaw is the person hugging the whale. She was actually tugged by her ponytail, and Daniel Dukes was a person that went into SeaWorld at night and was attacked. And there was actually supposed to be 4 night watchers that day, and nobody seemed to see him. Hypothermia was blamed, although there was clear cameras to show that the whale attacked them. Is there more evidence that SeaWorld needs in order to protect these whales and, most importantly, these individuals? Do certain individuals or does SeaWorld not really think that these accidents make SeaWorld look negative? Just stop and think, do these cases not alert the public in not wanting to go into the parks? Not only is SeaWorld affecting the orcas, the animal trainers, but also the community, because it brings awareness to them, and it brings awareness in the fact that it's kind of shocking to think that these incidents can actually happen to what seems to be well-trained animal trainers. The cause is that the living environment that the whales are living is causing them a lot of stress. As you can see, they don't have anywhere to go but just swim around that small tank. Again, in the film Blackfish, we are able to see the inhumane action SeaWorld is taking by keeping whales such as Tilcum in captivity. So Tilcum was captured in November 1983. He's the largest orca in captivity. He has fathered 22 calves and only 10 are alive today. So Tilcum is actually considered one of the most, they breed him for most of the whales, and he's actually seen as the most aggressive one. Blackfish also informs us how these whales are being harmed socially. Most of these whales that are put together with other whales, and they're usually getting attacked, and there's nowhere for them to swim away because of the small space that they are in. It is obvious that these whales are not living in a healthy environment, and it is obvious that they're not in a natural habitat. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals state in the article how animals imprisoned by SeaWorld, how the whales being confined is driving them insane, which leads to the biting of metal cage, and this is actually, he hurt himself with it's either metal or whatever he was in. Animal trainers should not be dying for loving what they do. To conclude, Elizabeth McFarland informs the reader in SeaWorld Problems that the Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, also known as OSHA, has elected SeaWorld that it is not providing the animal trainers with a safe environment, and because of that, they have built these barriers, as you can see in the picture, which is supposed to protect the animal trainer from the whale. There's also been said that they're planning a Blue World project, which is supposed to build bigger tanks for these whales, But the thing is that it doesn't matter if these whales are living in a bigger tank. The thing is that they are still being restrained to a certain amount of space. They're not able to swim a lot of miles just how they're supposed to. And they're still being used for the entertainment of others. The best solution is to release these whales into sanctuaries where they can feel free. Sanctuaries are usually parts of the oceans that are either fenced or netted, where they kind of like, it's still in the ocean, but it's fenced so that other animals don't go in or so they don't leave. Just because whales such as Tokum wouldn't be able to survive if he's being released, because he's been in captivity as of age of 2, and if he's released, it's kind of like a shock for him because he doesn't know how to live in a natural environment. The solution is also to stop and to end the captivity of the whales for the entertainment of others. If people take a stand and protest against SeaWorld or even write petitions, the captivity of whales will end. Orcas suffer from living in a natural habitat, which is causing the death of animal trainers. As individuals, we must take it upon ourselves to be able to speak for these animals that do not have a voice for themselves. Because at the end, if we are initially going to these places, we are putting the animal trainers' lives at risk and even supporting the inhumane action of keeping these whales in captivity. We need to come together and share the same visions. We need to say the same vision of saving the whales. Some of the actions that we can do is write letters to SeaWorld. If you Google SeaWorld, there's a lot of SeaWorlds that you can send them. Even protest, stop breeding, sign petitions, go to PETA.org. There's a lot of petitions. Change.org has petitions too. And do not buy a ticket, because having a whale in a tank is not